on Nigeria's judiciary. Well, Justice Kudirat Kekere-Ekun, the newly sworn-in acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, has pledged to enhance public trust in the judicial system, emphasizing that this task requires the collective effort of all Nigerians. During a swearing-in ceremony at the State House in Abuja, she vowed to reform the process for appointing judicial officers and promised a more reputable judiciary by the end of her tenure. Kekere-Ekun, who was recommended by the National Judicial Council to replace the retiring Justice Olukayode, stressed the importance of cooperation to improve the judiciary's reputation. She is set to serve as acting CJN until her confirmation by the Senate, with her tenure expected to last until 2028. The ceremony was attended by key government officials, including President Bola Tinubu, Senate President Godswill Akpabio, and other notable dignitaries. Yes, Secretary, let's hear you on the story.
No doubt the Nigerian judicial system is in their need of reform, like she has rightly said. No doubt. You see, we can't overemphasize the system problem we have here again. That word that was first used by a doctor today has come up again.
And it might come up in all the stories.
Absolutely, absolutely. It may definitely come up. But that is just the truth of where we are. There is a need for a system change. Unfortunately for us, the judiciary, which is usually a conservative body, has also been caught up in this mess, and the need to reform the justice system. Yeah, on that she's very right. There is a need to reform. But the challenge is this. The person talking about the reform and building trust also came with a baggage of trust deficit. She was among the judges or the panel of justices that ruled in the Imo State governorship case with Emeka Ihedioha and the incumbent governor. And that magical ruling saw somebody that came forth in the election being pronounced as the governor of Imo State, which till today many Nigerians, especially those from Imo State, still wonder how that magic was done, what mathematical formula was used to achieve that. But beyond that, within that period, it was reported that there was a retreat for judicial officers of international caliber that was to take place in the USA. She, amongst others, were denied visa entry into the USA, while their aides got the visa. The principals that the event was made for didn't get this thing. So in appointing a judge, the number one judicial officer for the country, I think the system should consider not necessarily that we must align to foreign powers or what the international community thinks, but the truth is Nigeria is a part of the international community, and we cannot always neglect key questions being raised, especially when we always run back hand in hand to them for financial aid and other form of aid. So a person that came with that baggage of trust, what did the system to do to ensure that denial was an error, or it was just treated as if it doesn't matter? They can do what they like in the global community. We can do what we like locally. With such a person, trust building would be difficult. And like they would always say, it is not enough to carry out justice, to do justice. Justice must have been seen to be done. The people for whom you dispense justice, yes, the courts are not a court of public opinion, but the laws can reasonably, or the outcome of a judicial process can reasonably be predicted by keen followers of the judicial system, especially well-learned barristers and lawyers in the legal system. A case where people's expectation always, now when I say people, I'm referring to those that are professionals in the field, always differ from the outcome of every or most judicial system, raises more questions than answer. So yes, there is a reform, but how will she handle that baggage of distrust she came into the office?
Should that really matter? Do you think Nigerians have the same thoughts? Let's get your own thoughts.
Yeah, the issue of trust on the judiciary is something that is becoming so scarce. Looking at the points and facts he has pointed, referring to the new Chief Justice of the Federation, having such kind of skeletons in a cupboard, and what impact will she make? What effort will she make to bring about public trust? Because currently, a lot of people that have were seeing the judiciary as their last hope have lost hope because of the conflicting, interfering, and different versions of judgments that judges keep giving. So you'll be wondering, say, what is it? The judge in a court will give a judgment, another court will give a counter judgment in the same, on the same issue. So it shows lack of sincerity, integrity from the judiciary. So if she's saying that she wants to build back or rebuild public trust, it's not something by saying it with the mouth.
That brings to my question. What do you think the judiciary needs? What do we need in that system?
What they need to do is that judiciary need to come together again and re-examine their flaws, because corruption in the judiciary has caused the system to collapse. Because the judiciary currently, we've lost hope on them. For her to bring back this hope and trust, she will need to reassemble all of these judicial lawyers, judges. In fact, let us start with the judges, that they should go back to their professional ethics. So what is required of them in terms of making pronouncements, judgments, how they have their processes of determining a sentence in a case. So they should go back and look into these processes and start having a personal, in-depth change. And also, there should be a disconnect from all of those politicians that are lobbying them, that are, giving them money. The question is this: we have three arms of government: the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary. We have seen that the politicians have over-influenced the judiciary, that it is the highest payer that gets the favorable judgment.
So how do you get the disconnection? Because you said there should be a disconnection.
Yes, there should be a disconnection. Disconnection should be that the CJN should, in fact, endeavor to checkmate every judgment before it is pronounced on similar issues. Should give a stern warning to the judges that on any case that a court has made a pronouncement, a judgment, a sentence, no other judges should counter it. They should rather appeal it, not the same high court giving counter judgments on the same issue. So the CJN should start from that aspect, that any court that the judge has made a pronouncement of any judgment or anything, no other similar court should treat that matter. Rather, those who feel that they are not satisfied should appeal the case. That is the second thing they have to do. Right. Then the judges, the CJN should also let these judges totally let them exclude themselves from any commingling with the politicians, because they're a separate arm of government. they should not be influenced. They should be, they should take their stands. They should take their stand.
Well, how would she even get to check for that?
She can, because
to
they
make sure that they are not mingling with politicians.
Let me tell you,
these things are usually done at the back door. It's not done in the open for people to see.
We know that. We know that. But there is a level she can get to it. It will begin to bring that awareness to the judges to start refraining or restraining themselves from this excessive commingling with the politicians, because that is what is influencing them. They have lost their potency. They have lost the public trust. So with these conflicting judgments, the public are afraid of them. So she that has come up, I know she has bad records, but she can on herself start, sanitizing herself. She should publicly apologize. I have to say this. For assuming this position, she should publicly apologize for her own errors. Of course, because my friend has cited it, it is there in the public domain. So she has to make a public apology to that effect.
Right.
So that people will start having trust in her. And then she should make stringent efforts to detach the judges from the influence of the politicians.
Another thing that they should actually look at, let's look at other issues with the judiciary that should actually be handled, that you probably have noticed being in Nigeria.
Okay, one of the things, while you talked about the commingling, one of the things that comes to mind and has been a source of worry is the number of spouses of politicians that has risen to the judicial to become justices.
How do you stop such mingling?
Yeah, there may be no framework as it were, maybe to stop them, because since they have the career progress to make. But we should also be sure that these elevations are not a result of political influence, that this is my wife, this is my husband, make him judge. Because at the end of the last parliamentary session, we saw a senator who lost the election, who lost his seat in the final session, lamenting and talking about how his wife is a judge, how he has helped some of them to win cases in court. With that, I mean, so if my spouse is a judge and he has to appear before my spouse, and ideally, given that the case involves me, ideally you should expect my spouse to retire herself from that particular case and say, because like I said earlier, it is not just about justice being done, it's justice must be seen to have been done. So even if that person gives a fair judgment, the fact that there is a relationship between us would always raise that question. Imagine a situation where in a football match between Nigeria and England, the referee is from England or from Nigeria. How would you convince the other side that they won fairly? I mean, if I'm the referee in a Nigerian match, there would always be that emotional attachment to the Nigerian team. So these are the things we should. There are a whole lot of things to look into.
Yes.
Like you said, the process of promoting judges should be. There have been a lot of accusations that you can hardly climb to this position if you know nobody. These are things that should be properly looked into. Then also, how do people become judges in the first place? What is their history? What is their integrity profile? He talked about refraining, intermingling with politicians. Yes, your question is how we should do that. The question is, how do we unravel secrets in society? There is something called investigation. She may not get it 100%, but if she has the political will, she will go a long way in stopping that. If we have sanctions, like the scriptures says, a sin continues if the punishment is delayed. So if people are punished or sanctioned for so thing, people will refrain. Those that want to toe that part will know that, if I'm caught, I'll be dealt with. And they will calculate their chances of being caught or not being caught. If the chances of being caught is higher, then they will rather advise themselves. But if it is an anyhow thing, however it goes, people will be free. Of course, in spite of the secrecy involved, we have seen pictures, people revealing that, so judges met with so person. We have seen some viral videos of judges and politicians, together. That shouldn't be this way.
Okay, so